What is up, Scrub fam? It's set for release weekend. We're all hype. Product is on its way to you. If you haven't already started cracking packs, good luck on your pulls. If you have cracked packs, I hope you pulled all the Bardocks and all the foil flutes. But anyway, this video is going to do a few things. Number one, it's going to introduce my Patreon to everybody. Thank you so much for everyone who supported so far. As you can see, there is a list of names over here of everyone who is supporting via Patreon right now. They've all reaping the benefits of daily articles, posts, and of course they have the different benefits that each tier different has. I have a $1 tier or $4.20 tier, and then a $13.37 tier. Aptly named, the first one being, essentially you're just scrub, and then you're above average scrub, and then you are a scrub god or scrub lord, whatever. And so essentially you join each tier. And from there, each one has different benefits. So the basic scrub, which is tier 1, is essentially just you get a shout out, which again, thank you so much to everybody. And then from there, you also get entered into a drawing each month. Each month I'll be giving away a deck from the channel. So if you just sign up just for $1, you not only get access to all my posts, so all the articles that I put up there, but also you get access to the drawing that I will be doing on a monthly basis and giving away a deck from the channel itself. Pretty exciting stuff. If you move up to the $4.20 tier, if you decide to do that, you can submit one deck per month to me. We can work on it together. I've already started working on decks with people right now, having full-on conversations about them, going the different theory, way they should think, way should they approach it. And so far, a lot of people have already had success. And then the $13.37 tier, not only do you get all the benefits of the first tiers, but you also get a 3xG Scrub Fam t-shirt. You also get 2 hours of playtesting time with me and also talking about decks, brews, and you get one of your decks featured on the channel. So if you have a deck that we've worked on together or a deck that you want to, playtest with and we work on and we determine that it's really good, it's competitive, and you want to post it on the channel, we can do that together. So that's pretty sweet. The goal of the Patreon is to make sure that you guys have stuff that is affordable to you and something that you can get value out of, and at the same time I get value out of it as well, not only because of your support to help me better this channel, but also in general, me being able to interact with the community in a different way and being able to provide insight, it helps me get better too. So we're getting better together. We're rising through the scrub ranks together in order to be able to, put a better tournament results across the board. And of course, at the same time, just put out some entertaining content for you guys and just continue to improve my overall quality, and so you guys get to enjoy it. But anyway, enough about plugging my Patreon. Shout out to Mitchell Bork, Will, Mark Talley, Joshua Price, Ricky Boroto, Andrew East, Marcus Cantarsi, Kyle Buys, Kevin Hernandez, Neil Bonaparte. I'm probably butchering names right now. Derek Claren, Josh, and Young Badman. Thank you guys so much for deciding to be patrons for me. And thank you so much for the messages I've already received, appreciating the content I already provide. So before I dive into this, what I'm going to be doing is a top 5. My top 5 cards, including honorable mentions from this set so far through my own testing. And this is testing that I've been doing. This isn't just me going, these are the cards that are going to be worth money. Like, no. This is me testing the format and really getting a feel for it. And that's the information I'm going to be giving to you going forward. Before I get into that, let me give a shout out to my sponsor, Beard Collectibles. Alec Pastrana is the best shop owner on the planet. If you ordered product from Beard's Collectibles for this set release, please note that the truck broke down that it was delivering product. Alec already put out a post about this, but they are doing everything they possibly can. They've been working like crazy ever since they did get the truck to go ahead and get orders out. They were staging everything. They were getting labels created. So everyone that had a label, they already had the tracking number sent to them, and basically you're just waiting for the update for when it finally ships. I know my stuff's not coming till Monday, but I totally understand it's definitely out of their control, and they're doing everything they can. Alec and his team is doing an amazing job. They've been super responsive. If you're canceling your orders, that's no big deal. Alec is willing to go ahead and refund you. It's not a big issue to him. He just wants to make sure that everyone has the best experience possible, and he wants to make sure that he communicates if there's any issues. So again, Beard is doing everything they can. They're the best sponsor out there. He's the best shop owner. He's the best at customer service that I know. And as I stated before, communicate with him if you're having any issues or feeling some type of way. He'll talk you down, and of course, he'll make you feel good about it. And Beard Collectibles always has the best prices on sealed products, so always go through Bearded. And Alec Pastrana, like I said, best genuine dude I know. So very lucky to have them as a sponsor. So anyway, enough about my tangents about Patreon and my sponsor. Man, I'm sounding like one of those guys now, one of those YouTubers. But anyway, so let's go into my top 5. So before I get into my top 5, I'm going to start with some honorable mentions. There are 2 cards. There are 2 Overrealm cards from this set that I've had a blast playing with. Number 1 is Time's Choice Supreme Kai of Time. I'm playing this in a lot of decks over Time Patrol Chunks. A lot of people are like, well, Time Patrol Chunks can get you any card of the 2 cards. Well, I really like seeing 3 cards, and picking of 3 battle cards cards and decks are going to be heavily battle card focused is absolutely incredible. People ask me why I play this over Time Patrol Trunks in the Trunks Storm deck. Main reason why is because when you look at the top 3 versus the top 2, your likelihood of finding an Unyielding Spirit Trunks to continue your combo, or a 4-drop Bardock to be able to combo over to your 1-drop Bardock, or finding a Goten when you need to find it, like, seeing the extra card matters. And as I stated before, you get to put the other 2 cards on the bottom of your deck. You know where they are, so then when you go into Successor, shuffle your deck, you get to then, put those cards back in a rotation. So you just get more information about what's in your deck. So that's why I like Time Choice Supreme Kai of Time. In every deck I've played it with, it's always overperformed. It's always felt great. And then if you want to swing with it, if you're aggressive, you can. Or if you just want to combo with it with your leader, unswinging just to provide a little bit of additional pressure, you can, just to help fill up your discard pile even more so for when you want to overwhelm again. But overall, this is a great draw spell that is in this game. I love having access to it. It's probably one of my favorite cards to play with right now. And the next one is Dark Rejuvenator Toa. So this card is overperforming a lot of the aggro-based decks. You have to be a deck that really wants it, though. So you have to play 3 to 4 copies because you really want to see it on specific turns, especially your turn 2. So basically, turn 1, charge red. Turn 2, charge this. And then play your 1-drop Trunks, right? Swing with your 1-drop Trunks, take a life, crit your opponent, play a Dark Rejuvenator Toa, untap your Trunks, swing with your Trunks again, take a life, and then now it's a 25k crit coming at your opponent. You just drew 2 cards off of the Trunks, and so you're getting tons of value out of the Dark Rejuvenator Toa. In general, this is just going to help a lot of those aggro-based decks. It's going to help you in your black-based decks, like Red-Black Mass Saiyan. This card's going to go in that deck. You're going to enjoy it a lot, especially with your Saiyan Kabas and your Intensifying Power Trunks, as I stated before. Help you put on a lot of pressure onto the opponent, and it just helps act as combo fodder. So once it comes down, you'll swing with the card, add this to the combo, and then now you're putting more pressure on the opponent. So these are my honorable mentions. Try them out if you haven't already. Next, we're going to go to number 5. So number 5 is kind of a combination of 3 cards, but really it's just Awaken Perfection Hirudegarn, the leader. I know people are going to be like, why are you choosing a leader in one of these spots? Why aren't you picking an individual card? And it's because everything the leader comes with. So number 1, Hirudegarn is one of the most playable leaders we've ever received and given the most support a leader has received in a single set. He's incredibly powerful on the front side. He gets to filter through his deck incredibly fast, just through swinging with his leader, which is great because it helps that you advance your win condition by dealing damage to your opponent, but at the same time, you're getting to just discard a battle card, draw 2 cards, has untap 2 when Awakening, and then on the backside, once you have 4 energy, when you swing, you draw a card, your opponent top decks a card. Make your opponent essentially have to take a card from their hand, a known quantity, and put it on top of their deck to stop them from drawing a card on their turn. So blanking their draw stop is incredibly powerful, and you'll begin to see that as you continue to test this format yourself. I like to combo with Phantom Flame Cannon and Hoy Emissary of Flame because Hoy Emissary of Flame is probably the best super combo in the game, not named Unwavering Solidarity Shigesh. And honestly, it might even be just the best super combo in the game based on the way the format's going to be shaping up, how heavy blue decks are going to be played, and how yellow decks are going to be kind of pushed out of the format to start. So Hoy Emissary of Flame is just the most insane super combo. It doesn't punish you for playing a lot of extra cards, so if you play Objection in your deck, which Hirudegarn decks should be playing Objection if you're not playing one of the Flute aggro versions, like, you can just take those extra objections and just get pure value. So if you're tapped out, your opponent swings at you, and you just Hoy, like, discard an objection, draw 2 more cards to combo with, like, it's just absolutely disgusting. So best super combo in the game. And then Phantom Flame Cannon, this card. If you haven't played with or against this card can be one of the most frustrating cards because you choose the card from your opponent's hand. You don't look at their hand, you choose the card at random, they top deck it, your leader gets plus 10k for the duration of that battle. So essentially, it's almost like a huge negate with upside of making your opponent neg, especially if they even just combo a 5k and you just combo over with this, just to, their opponent just lost 2 cards essentially. And so Phantom Flame Cannon is overperformed, but overall, number 5 is Hirudegarn. This is going to be one of the most impactful cards in the format. It's going to be one of the most played leaders that as we move forward, and that's probably one of the first times we've seen that from a set outside of Mass Saiyan from set 3. It's just having one of these leaders just kind of take over and just be in a tier 1 spot. So Hirudegarn, I'm super hyped for him. I'm glad he's this good because he makes a lot of decks viable, playable, and he fits into that theme where you want to play a deck that kind of maximizes its life total to kind of force the game to go long. Next is going to be number 4, Intensifying Power Trunks. The reason why I have it next to Chain Attack Trunks is this is what this card enables. So Intensify Power Trunks, as we stated before, is just it's like a brand new Kaba, but it has critical, which is incredibly strong because of the fact that it's just pressure on your opponent. You draw a card, your opponent doesn't get to draw a card, and just that's math in this game. This game is a giant math equation, and Intensifying Power Trunks is a 1-drop that kind of helps you solve that math equation a little bit easier. Not to mention only that, but just the fact that Chain Attack Trunks exist, and Chain Attack Trunks basically 2 red evolves over any Trunks GT, and then you can expand your board state. So even if you don't want to swing with your 1-drop Trunks, so let's like say it's your turn 1, it's like you're on the play, turn 1, charge a red, play Intensify Power Trunks, pass. Turn 2, even if you want to swing, you can charge a second red, swing, take a life, and then you can tap 2, play a Chain Attack, put a 3-drop into play, and then now you have a 20k body that your opponent's going to have a hard time getting rid of unless they have removal on their turn 2, and you have a 3-drop that you just put into play. So just think about how much energy equity you just gained. So just for 2 energy, you now got a 4-drop plus a 3-drop. So for 2 energy, you have a 4-drop battle card, a 3-drop battle card. So that's 7 energy worth of stats that you got for 2 energy. So again, in these decks that you're trying to win these types of races, you're trying to get this extra value, Intensifying Power Trunks just does an incredible job. And so I really like pairing Chain Attack Trunks in the same exact deck that Intensifying Power Trunks is, because there's no point in not getting that value. It's also nice because there's some turns where you just need to get a Chain Attack out because you need to establish board presence, that you can just tap 3 red total. So Intensifying Power red 1, and then tap 2 red for Chain Attack, and then you still just played Chain Attack undercosted, and you're getting 7 energy worth of stats for only 3 energy. So incredibly powerful. So that's why Intensifying Power Trunks is number 4. And of course, red is officially, I mean, it already kind of was, but now is like heads above like everything else when it comes to battle cards and being aggressive. So that's why this card is on the list and not necessarily Newfound Power Sun Gohan. Spoiler alert. Next card, number 3, Combo Killer Anilaza. This is the mid-range and control finisher. This card alone distinguishes the identity that green has been lacking for the longest time of what it is. Is it aggro? Is it tempo? Is it control? Is it mid-range? We don't know. And now, Combo Killer Anilaza, you know, I've been telling everybody about this card. This card's incredibly powerful. It's a card that's going to shape the format. It's going to be key in all of the mid-range decks. Like, you're going to see all the green mid-range decks, or the green big decks. Combo Killer Anilaza is the card. This is the card that's going to be winning a ton of games for them. It's going to be something that just takes over the game once it comes down, and that's why I've basically named it the equivalent to of like it's our Scarab God. Like if you're familiar with Magic and the Scarab God, this is our version of that. It doesn't have the same effect, but what it does do is once it comes down, it creates its own game. So it basically creates its own game that you get to play with this card that your opponent now has to play around, and it changes the conditions, and it's going to create inevitability. Because the more this card turns sideways, the more your leader turns sideways, the more you pressure your opponent, the more cards they have to give up. And the auto triggers both on your turn and your opponent's turn. So the first time they combo on your turn and their own turn, they're having to discard a card. So combine this with a strategy that also discards extra cards from your opponent's hand. Just combine this with Relentless Destruction Mirror. You're doing a lot of damage to your hand incredibly quickly. Your opponent's hand incredibly quickly, and you're just going to close out the game in a matter of just maybe 1 to 2 turns. It doesn't take long. So this is my number 3. This card's vastly underrated. Not enough people are talking about it. You need to play test with this card immediately, right? Okay, so we'll go to number 2. Number 2 is Bardock the Progenitor, and I paired it with Successor of Hope, not because I think that Successor of Hope is the number 2 card, but because Successor of Hope will appear in the decks with Bardock the Progenitor. The reason why, and a lot of people are not going to get this, but if you play a card like Successor of Hope in your deck, right, it's almost like when you were playing Manaka in your Frieza decks. Like, this card, Successor, thins your deck. It allows you to search for any swap character that's Goku's lineage that costs 5 or less and put it in your hand and costs 0. So no energy for you to be able to tutor your deck. So searching through your deck is incredibly strong in this game. You can see what's in your life. You can see what's still left in your deck. You can see what you took from the bottom and shuffle it back into your deck, put cards into rotation. And of course, in general, it's copies 5 through 8 of Bardock the Progenitor. So no matter what, you're going to have a Bardock the Progenitor. And so Successor just guarantees it, and there's no downside to playing this card, except for the fact that it's ever on your hand on defense. But in general, a lot of times the decks that are playing this card amass a huge amount of resources and kind of get these Successors out of the way really quickly. They filter, thin their deck out, and they're good to go. But Bardock the Progenitor, the reason why this card is number 2 is because this enables one of the most broken strategies in the game. This enables the Storm decks. This enables the Bardock, you know, take a life, push it to hand, play a 2-drop, go 10, swing with the go 10, basically impulse. Look at the top 3, choose 1 card, put it in your hand, take the rest, put them on the bottom. Like, and you can just continue this loop over and over again. This enables that. This also enables a, you know, if you're playing SS3, you can enable a turn 1 4-drop Bardock, the 8 Bardock. So basically play the 1-drop, swing with your leader, tap an energy, combo with the 4, and then now you have an ape on turn 1 already in play. Insane. You can do that with just any of the aggro decks as well. If you're playing Bardock the Progenitor and you're yellow based, you just play the Bardock Will of Iron because it's free. But in general, this enables all the swap strategies and will do what you want to do. So basically swapping this into a 2-drop Goku, and then your 2-drop Goku into your 3-drop Gohan, and then climbing up your curve. But Bardock the Progenitor makes sure that you do it, always, and it's free. So you're always going to be able to get a 2-drop for 1 energy if you need to. And then, of course, Successor of Hope just plays into that strategy as well. So this is why it's number 2. It's also why it's the most expensive SR right now, because it enables the most degenerate strategies, and you need it for any swap deck that you're going to be playing going forward. Number 1, you already guessed it. I'm going to have to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it, but okay. The Legendary Flute. The reason why this is number 1 is because this is the card that is going to appear in the most decks as we move forward into this new format. The Legendary Flute enables a lot of different plays, a lot of different strategies, allows the aggro decks a lot of advantages, also allows more mid-range or control decks some advantages too. So Legendary Flute is kind of it's all deck all-star, so if you're a blue leader, you should be jamming some of these. And the only one that I think can get away with it is U7 Gohan because of how often they actually want to combo with their cards in play versus pick them up back to hand. But this is great with something like Bodyguard Legic, similar to what Danny does. Danny Hype does in his U7 Gohan version of his deck, just to kind of clear his board so he'll flute something back to hand, play a Legic, and then replay the card if he needs to. But in general, Legendary Flute just enables a lot of the more degenerate stuff in this game. It just allows you to, reuse abilities that you need to reuse. It allows you to use your super, like basically your combo into play cards. Like you can combo into play on your opponent's turn, go back to your turn, swing with it, and then flute it back to hand, draw a card, and then now you have it for the next turn against your opponent. You have it again for the Go-10 play that we talked about with Bardock the Progenitor. You have it for your 1-drops, your Saiyan Kabas, your Intensifying Power Trunks. You have it for stuff like Nail. You have it for stuff like Bulma. The 3-drop Bulma, guys. The 3-drop Bulma is really good. You should play test with it. Shh. You heard it here. But that card's really good. But there's so many things that you can do with Legendary Flute. This card just kind of, it just does it all. It's a jack of all trades. It does everything that you could ever possibly want this card to do. It's good on defense too if you want to clear something off your opponent's board for a turn. But Legendary Flute, this card you're going to see a ton of. And the foils for this are already insane. They're going for like $30. So Legendary Flute is numero uno, because it is the 100% the best card in the set, enables the most, and honestly shifts the power entirely from yellow-based strategies to blue-based strategies because yellow doesn't have access to flute. It's that thing we talked about before when you can generate free energy and free advantages. When you can do that, that's when you start to put the things in your favor. So if you think about stuff like Unyielding Spirit Trunks, you think about Senzu Bean, Legendary Flute, those 3 cards together, working together, just create a ton of advantages, tons of free energy, and allow you to compress the game like we talked about before. The more you can use your energy within the first 3 turns of the game, the easier you're going to be able to win and do more degenerate things than your opponent can do. And a lot of those times, those other decks just can't keep up. So moving forward, just make sure that you are prepared for these decks. Make sure you get your hands on these cards ASAP. In general, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you again so much for the patrons. I'll have a link to the Patreon down in the description, as well as a link to beardedcollectibles.com down in the description. Thank you guys so much for everything that you do for me. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, personal crises, issues with this video, feedback, good or negative, put it in the comments. Give me a like, hit that subscribe button. But anyways, thank you guys so much. Okay, bye!